Netflix's horror movie The Deliverance tells the harrowing true story of a family who experiences a haunting, but it doesn't reveal what happened to the real-life version of Ebony, Andrade, Latoya Ammons. The Deliverance was inspired by the true story of the Ammons haunting case, but it wasn't a direct adaptation of real-world events. Director Lee Daniels mentioned that he changed several parts of the true story, such as making Ebony's mother, Alberta, Glenn Close, white. Those changes may not have been for the best, though, as The Deliverance has not received great reviews, even though the true story is extremely frightening. By the end of The Deliverance, Latoya and her family were able to stop the hauntings and free themselves from the house's paranormal activity. Though The Deliverance has a happy ending, it wasn't as clear how the true story ended in the movie itself, especially considering how Daniels mentioned that he changed parts of the story. The Deliverance briefly mentions Latoya Ammons, but it didn't explain what happened to her after the haunting, what happened to her children, or whether she was ever haunted again. Latoya Ammons and her family moved to Indianapolis, Indiana 2012 and the paranormal activity stopped. Andrade as Ebony in The Deliverance. Latoya Ammons and her family had some intensely frightening experiences when they moved into their rental home in November 2011. The Deliverance depicted many of those paranormal phenomena, including Latoya's son walking backwards up a wall and more. After 6 months living in the house, Latoya and the Ammons family moved to Indiana in May 2012, and the hauntings ended, via HuffPost. Their house, which had been nicknamed the 200 Demons House, was purchased by Zach Bagans, the star of Ghost Adventures, in 2014. The house became the subject of one of Bagans' documentaries, Demon House. It was then torn down in 2016. The Deliverance director Lee Daniels revealed Latoya Ammons is at peace today. The ending of The Deliverance briefly mentions that Latoya Ammons was the inspiration behind Ebony, and it gives a quick update about the house's history. The movie doesn't, however, explain where Latoya is now. Luckily, Lee Daniels, director of The Deliverance, met with Latoya Ammons before making the movie, via The Hollywood Reporter. According to the director, Latoya is at peace after the hauntings, and he described her as lovely. Besides Daniels' meeting with Latoya, not much is known about what she has done since moving to Indiana in 2012. While Latoya and the Ammons family didn't experience any more supernatural phenomena after moving away from the 200 Demon House, there could be more stories left to tell about it. The ending of The Deliverance set up potential spin-offs by mentioning that the land around the house is still responsible for strange occurrences. If the story continues in a future project, though, Latoya Ammons and her family likely won't be involved. Daniels mentioned that The Deliverance was his interpretation of Latoya's life story, and since she is no longer living in a haunted house, it seems her horror story is over.